Hey guys, what's up? It's me. I'm back now and it's business as usual, doing what I want to do, talking what I want to talk about, and that's that. I'm going to be more straight to the point about this, and this is a topic about going into a game blind, or just blind playthroughs. So, let's get started. You ever gorge on all the information about a game before you ever bite the bullet on a game? I have, and I'm immeasurably guilty when it comes to the FromSoft games. In fact, I'd say that my biggest regret was spoiling too much for myself before I even played the fucking thing. I would get too excited about the newest FromSoft title and I wanted to see everything that was there when I could have just simply waited, buy the game, find out for myself. There was a time where games had an unknown feeling to them, and by that I mean the accessibility of information when we were kids. You know, we just had magazines back then, we didn't always have access to the internet when we had to share, or just, when the cap was at its max and we couldn't go any further unless we reset it, which also cost money. But that's a whole different thing. Either way, information back then wasn't as accessible as it is today. And nowadays, it's so easy to read everything you need to know about a game beforehand. Games aren't cheap, and AAA games are a gamble more than ever before, and even indie titles have their own shares of risk, even though more often than not, they usually ship out a couple of bangers a year. So it's understandable how a lot of people want to just make sure that they're getting their money's worth before the purchase. But along with that, something else goes missing, and what has been missing for a while and can be regained again is the blind and unknown exploration of a product where you only know just enough of what kind of game it is and not much more than that. The idea for this topic in mind came about when I started playing Dredge, a fishing game with horror elements not unlike the works of H.P. Lovecraft. I saw the ratings, read some info about the game on the page, and I did not look any further into it. And boy, I'm glad I did, because the experience I've had with it so far would not have been as special if I'd watched a full-length review or an analysis of the game, or even just gameplay clips of it. And I've only just started playing it. I bought it, I decided to dive right into the game straight away, no fucking around, just press play, done. And I've been having fun with it ever since, learning even the most basic things that are just so like, oh, okay, that's how you do this. Okay, how do I do that? Thinking on it now, while I was working on this video, I could have had a far richer experience with, say, Elden Ring or countless other games if I just resisted the temptation to look up everything to ensure that I didn't miss out on content, or watched clips of boss fights to see how they looked. And look, I still had a blast with Elden Ring and other games as well, but the experience would have been more potent if I just treated the game like, say, Outer Wilds. So I want to propose an idea to all of you. Treat every game you touch like Outer Wilds. So what do I mean by this? Let me explain. So in the age of speedrunning and optimization culture, every game is figured out and spoiled before you've even looked at it. And this is doubly true for multiplayer games. But in single player, the experience should be yours only. It should be unique to everyone else's. Who cares if you're playing Deltarune the wrong way? It shouldn't matter, nor does it matter. And if you want a richer experience of a single player game of your choosing, you need to disregard everyone else's opinion on what is the right and wrong way to play it. With Outer Wilds, it's often credited as being a title that should not ever be spoiled, because it would then ruin the entire experience for the new player. People who have played Outer Wilds will often stress newcomers to not look a single thing up before playing it. And so, I want you to try and approach your next single player game with this in mind. Hell, even your next co-op game with this mindset. With competitive multiplayer though, it's much harder to do, because if your goal is to get better, then you'll inevitably have to look things up for further improvement, and a lot of competitive multiplayer games these days are built with analysis and optimization in mind. So, by your nature and by the game's competitive nature, you may feel obligated to further improve and optimize your gameplay experience in, say, the latest competitive multiplayer game. Now, you can still approach those sort of games with the Outer Wilds-like mindset where you just don't look anything up. It will only work, though, if you genuinely don't care about your performance in those games. So if I booted up, say, Overwatch 2, and I'd never, heard of it before, and decided I just want to go into it and see what it's all about, and I didn't care about how I played it, then theoretically it could work. But if I was to play it for an extended period of time, then eventually I would then optimize my gameplay sessions. And that for me is a more natural approach to optimization, where you go into it because it looks fun, you're going to get into it. But what would be the opposite would be if I looked everything up. Okay, what are the best heroes? What are the best, strats? Things like that. Optimizing before even playing. And this thing carries over with single player games as well, and that's something I would urge you all to avoid as much as possible. And this is coming from someone that has done a lot of, guide reading and walkthroughs, looking them up just to sort of get through the game much quicker. And it's something that I now regret doing, looking back. Now, as for exceptions and conditions that you make, and these exceptions and conditions will occur depending on what game you play, they should still be in service of your own session and your own unique experience. Say, for example, in a puzzle game, you get stuck on something for a long time. It's generally okay then to look up a solution after you've exhausted every approach you've made. But if you go beyond that and start relying too much on other resources to get through the game much easier, then you'll end up railroading your own game session and it doesn't become yours anymore. Don't make this mistake, especially in RPGs and other games that reward player curiosity and exploration. Be okay with fucking up and failing a dice roll in BG3, or a choice with unfortunate consequences in Cyberpunk 2077. The blind playthrough is a harmony of experiencing and discovering interwoven through player interaction. If you rely too much on guides, you're just turning it into an interactive tour. Go through a game blind first, discover as much as you can, optimize later on, rely on resources after you've gotten a taste of what the game has to offer. Set conditions and exceptions that are still in service of your own session, and don't let it go beyond its boundaries. So many people optimize before playing. Don't do this. Unless you're playing a competitive multiplayer game and you have dreams of esports, stop optimizing your game sessions before you've started. Take Factoria, for example. Stop listening to people that are just, throwing suggestions on what you should do first. Go into it blind, explore as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and if you want to improve, that should be something you should do later on, when you want to take things further. Don't do it beforehand. It will ruin your experience, I promise you. So here's a risk-free exercise that you can undertake where you don't have to pay a single cent and still get results. Take 2 free games of your choosing. You can find plenty of them on Steam and on itch.io. Play one game without looking any further than what the game is about, and with the next game, look up as much as you can about it, from trailers to reviews, discussions, you name it. And while you're playing through the game and you get stuck, frequently look up guides so that you get a guided sort of playthrough. Analyze and monitor your reactions and feelings between the 2 games, and try to figure out which one felt more special, which one felt more like yours. There you go, no price tag. The only price is time, and it's up to you how you want to spend it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.